Welcome, Terrence. How are you?
Very well, thank you. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
Thanks for sitting down today and having this conversation. Before we delve into specific questions, could you talk a bit more about your background and then how did you end up into disabilities and
Sure.
regional disability?
Yeah, no, definitely. So I haven't been in the sector for very long, but I have been around the disability as a whole for a long time. So I started my career with the YMCA, so I was put on at a very young age as the manager for youth and community services, and then after a year at 21 I was put on as a CEO for the Eastern Gulf YMCA, and was with the Y for about 16, 17 years until I assisted them through a merge of all the YMCAs in Western Australia into one. And then for me, I just felt it was time to take on something else. I spent a lot of time in the not-for-profit sector. So for me, then I moved into the private sector. I started a couple of businesses, didn't enjoy it at all. Just missed the engagement, the community, the people side of it. So I wrapped up those businesses and sold them off and jumped on as a consultant. I work with remote communities, particularly local governments, to assist with establishing outreach programs, services, supports, and just making general livability in the communities.
Yeah.
From there, I decided that a particular area of weakness that I hadn't developed was in the HR space. So then I moved into HR, done a fair bit of training. I worked in the employment space, particularly with DES contracts. And then after that point, I wanted to go back into the full not-for-profit mode. And then GIFs had been reaching out. They reached out again. It was just the right time. And they were going through an enormous period of change. They'd just lost their entire executive team. They'd made just changes on the board, and they were looking at where they wanted to go directionally, because they've been doing things a certain way for a long time, and it was just time for something new. So it was fantastic to have a chat to them, pitch out what my vision would be and how I wanted to achieve it, and they were very supportive. And since then, I've been with GIFs now for almost 4 years.
Lovely.